Shining Revelry is out now, the latest Pokemon TCG Pocket set, which came alongside 9 new Pokemon EX. And it looks like at this point in time, the strongest one is Giratina EX. There's a number of different ways to play Giratina EX, and today we're going to be looking at the variant with Darkrai and Druddigon. I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about this Giratina with Darkrai deck. Giratina EX is a basic psychic Pokemon with 150 HP. It has the attack Chaotic Impact for 3 psychic and a colorless, which is very expensive, but it does 130 damage and you do 20 damage to yourself. The 20 damage is not ideal, so we put on Giant Cape where possible to try and get us out of one-hit KO range of other attackers in the game. But what makes this Pokemon even more dangerous is the fact that it can power itself up. Broken Space Bellow is an ability where Giratina EX can take a psychic energy from the energy zone and put it onto Giratina and end your turn. And in the context of this particular deck, we don't actually run psychic energy, so we can just have Giratina sit in the back while we power up Darkrai EX, which is a basic Dark-type Pokemon with 140 HP, and it has the Nightmare Aura ability where when you attach a Dark Energy to Darkrai, you drop 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. So each turn between attaching from your energy zone and attaching to Giratina, you are getting 2 energy in play per turn while also gradually chipping out your opponent. And then its Dark Prism attack for 2 dark and a colorless does 80 damage, which is not so bad, especially if you combine that with attaching from hand, or I mean attaching from the energy zone, which is 100, and that is pretty good. But the big attack combo though is attached to the Darkrai for 20, and then you play red for another 20, and then you swing with the Giratina, and that can get you 170 damage in 1 turn, which is going to one-hit KO almost everything in the game. And that's kind of what makes this deck dangerous, on top of all the other stuff it does. Like Druddigon, which is our wall Pokemon of choice in the deck, where it has the Rough Skin ability, where if your opponent's active Pokemon swings into the Druddigon in the active spot, the Druddigon replies with 2 damage counters. And having that extra incremental chip damage can go a long way to getting the opposing active Pokemon into KO range of Darkrai or Giratina. For trainer cards, 2 copies of Pokeball, which let us grab a random Pokemon out of our deck, 2 copies of Giant Cape, which give us 20 extra HP, 1 copy of Rocky Helmet, which does 20 damage to our opponent's active Pokemon when they swing into a Pokemon with the Rocky Helmet on. Professor's Research draws 2 cards. Leaf reduces our retreat cost by 2, giving us some more pivoting options in the deck, especially since everything here is very thick with their retreat cost, so Leaf makes it a little easier to move around the board. One of the new trainer cards we have in here is 2 copies of Red, and Red lets you do plus 20 damage on Pokemon EX. This is not necessarily an upgrade over Giovanni, because Giovanni can give you plus 10 damage on everything. Against a non-EX Pokemon, Red does absolutely nothing. But with the meta being as heavily skewed towards EX Pokemon, this is a 2-of in this particular version that I am playing. We also have, as this is kind of a flex spot here, I have seen people play Pokemon Center Lady here, but I've got 1 copy of the Team Rocket Grunt, where you flip a coin, and if heads, you can keep flipping coins till it's heads, and for each heads that you hit, you discard an energy off of your opponent's active Pokemon. This is a card that you're gonna want to wait till the right time for that opportunity to knock multiple energy off, and against certain decks it's just not gonna work at all. Anything with a single energy attacker, this is not gonna do anything. Even if you hit 9 heads, they'll just attach on the following turn and then smash. So definitely a high risk, high reward card, which is why I only have 1 copy of it here. Again, there's other cards you could be playing in here, like Pokemon Center Lady, if you want to adjust your counts, and that's totally fine. 1 copy of Sabrina forces your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench and they have to switch it with something else, and 1 copy of Cyrus, where you can gust up an opposing bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. Again, because we're doing so much ping damage with the Darkrai, we can set stuff up, and if they try and retreat it to the bench later, we can gust it back up with Cyrus and knock them out. So whether you go first or second, you really want to get Giratina on the board, and then the at least one Druddigon in the active, Giratina on the bench, Darkrai on the bench, and ideally the second Druddigon on the bench as well. And you're just attaching energy to the Darkrai and then using the bellowing, the broken space bellow to attach energy to the Giratina. And then you got to pick your right spot of when you move into attack, whether it's with the Darkrai or the Giratina to finish things off. But this is a very annoying defensive deck to fight against, and you can hang back and test your opponent's patience with this one. And right now it's been doing incredibly well in the tournament scene, incredibly well in online play. And yes, it is incredibly annoying, maybe the most annoying deck to play against right now, but it isn't perfect. It is one of the slower decks in the format. You need like 4 turns before you can even really do anything, and really fast decks or decks that could bench snipe like a Gallade with Hitmonlee are going to be an absolute nightmare for this one. And there's other decks like Gyarados which can just plow through both of these Pokemon if the sequencing is right, and that can be a challenge as well. But even so, this deck is absolutely insane and one of the driving forces behind the Shining Revelry meta. All right, let's get to these matches. Going second on this one, and we've got Darkrai in the active. Not an ideal spot, but we do have Druddigon, which means we have time to retreat while also chipping away at the Druddigon. So we've got some time here. Looks like they're all basically mirror matches in today's video. Unfortunately, like everybody's playing this deck right now, so it kind of is what it is. All right, let's go and set up. I think the big thing is trying to avoid your Giratina getting KO'd. So we played research, we get a ball, and we get a Druddigon down, which is nice, and we get our Giratina as well. Fantastic. So we'll attach energy to the Darkrai, get some initial chip damage on the Druddigon, and then start to power up the Giratina. Now, it kind of takes a couple turns. So one of the weird quirks of this deck, the variation of it, because you're only running Dark Energy, is that you can't power up Giratina quite as fast as you can if you were just playing a psychic version of it. Your deck is 1 turn slower. So you do kind of have to pick your spots and be a little patient in when you choose to go in. And right now we're going to burn one of our leaves to get our Druddigon into the active. And we are fine taking chip damage from the Darkrai. We actually have a bit of tempo here now, although it can be a point of concern that the Darkrai has gotten chipped, so we'll have to watch out for a Cyrus later. But otherwise, we're kind of just watching paint dry here as we trade chip damage on each other's Druddigons probably for a while here. While I have you here, let's talk about Shining Revelry. And I will say, I feel like the sets have been coming out a bit too fast. Kind of 6 weeks felt good. 4 weeks, like the gap between like Space Time Smackdown and Triumphant Light and Shining Revelry feels a little too fast for my liking. And we know we have another set in like less than a month now, which is kind of crazy. We play a research there, and we're continuing to chip away. I feel like between 6 to 8 weeks feels like a good number. 8 might be too long. 6 feels, I think, optimal. 4 feels too fast. I will say though, with Shining Revelry as a set, I know it's got shiny Pokemon, but I think it's the worst one from a competitive standpoint. So I think I'm going to be banking my hourglasses this month, right? The April hourglasses I will probably save for the end of the month. And if I decide that I want to buy more of Shining Revelry, I can get it at the end. But right now, I'll just rely on the dailies. All right, so we actually overloaded our Darkrai here, and giving ourselves time to attach the 4th energy to the Giratina. And at this rate, we will knock out the Druddigon before, and then this becomes way easier. They should probably look to retreat the Druddigon and bring in the fresh one and force us to do the same. They're gonna... Oh, they get Sabrina, so that actually means we can sustain even longer. Instead of the 60, now we have 100. So... And yeah, now they're gonna... the Druddigon stuck. That's a free KO for us here. And they'll go and chip a fresh Druddigon. Not sure that was the play, but they do get to build up, because now... I'm not sure how we capitalize on it from here. Like, yeah, we're going to play Darkrai and chip. And that's good. We take a KO. And I think we just build up Giratina again. We take a point, and now we just have to take out an EX. And theoretically, yes, we could just sit here and try and just, like, gradually chip out. Someone's going to have to be the aggressor at some point. And we'll see where this goes. I can't remember, because I think in some matches I am the aggressor, and in other matches I sit back, and I don't remember which one is which. All right, so they're starting to build up a second Giratina. I'm not sure I like that for them. We get a second Darkrai up, and I think this is, now that we're at a point, our Darkrai's built up, our Giratina's built up, and we can now make some stuff happen. I could Sabrina here. I was thinking Sabrina and maybe tag one of the 3 big EXs. But instead, I think I decide to... Oh, we're just going to keep chipping. All right. I think at this point, I could have gone in with the Darkrai and potentially sacrificed the Darkrai because we do have red. We have the other Darkrai in hand. I think we're going to... They're going to go in first, and that's not... And they're going to Cyrus up our Darkrai, and they think they've Uno reversed us, but really, it's not. We could have gone in a bit earlier, but it's okay. It's okay. They have made that call thinking that our Giratina is not going to be able to knock them out, but joke's on them, right? After hitting the... After doing their attack where they take 20 damage to themselves... All we need is 1 damage modifier, and we're good. And we've got the second Darkrai here, and we could have also just played red, and that will take them out. That's going to bring them down to 130. And yeah, we even could play the red. I was going to play the red, admittedly. Swing for 170. Well, do 170 damage total. So, good win there. I know maybe not the most exciting matchup in the world, but it is a matchup that happens all the time. And yeah, it's a really annoying deck to fight against. It's an annoying deck to... I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's fun, per se. I mean, some people... I do like the fact that the Pokemon TCG Pocket does have, like, different styles of decks, and this one is a more defensive style deck, so I'm glad that exists, and there are ways to blow this up. Certain decks, like I've started playing Gallade in Ranked, because Gallade absolutely eats this deck alive. Gyarados is also popular again, and Gallade eats that one alive too. So it's not a perfect deck by any means, but it is a very strong one that I think we're going to have to respect for the next little while. GG's. We are going second in this one, and we've got just Giratina to start. And that's kind of unfortunate. But at the very least, they're not going to be able to do damage on us, and again, we're fighting... seemingly another mirror match here, and it's kind of what it is. And I think the introduction of ranked play it's a gift and a curse in the sense that, like, oh, they only get the Druddigon down. Okay. I love the fact that there's something to grind for. If you want to play serious, there's something to build towards, and that's great. But it also, in that particular mode, and yeah, right now we just attach 2 energy to the Giratina. We don't have a Darkrai there, unfortunately. The trade-off is that people are going to be less conservative with the way that they build their decks, or they're going to be more conservative because they want to pick the best possible stuff. Rightfully so. You want to pick the deck that's going to give you the best shot to win. But that does have the side effect that I was playing in casual, trying to get matches for this that weren't Giratina, and it seems way less as the kids say, sweaty in the casual matchmaking at this point, where people are playing off-meta stuff there. But those matches didn't work when I was trying to play this deck, because I just kind of stomped them out. Anyway, we do get our Darkrai down, and now we can start chipping their Druddigon, and we do have to keep tabs on our Giratina, because one Cyrus could completely blow up our game here. I think if we can continue to sit here and Darkrai... Oh, yeah, the Zubat? Potentially trying to go for... Is it Zubat or I think Krogunk? No, it's the Toxicroak. I remember this match now. Okay. Yeah, so they've got a little bit of a different variation on their deck. Can't tell. We haven't seen a Giratina yet. So we'll just start to chip away while we build up our deck. Our Giratina is ready to go here. But I don't think there's much value in running out there at this point. Although, if we were to rush out right now, because Darkrai is not doing... Oh, they hit for weakness too, so I don't know if I want to play that game. And they get their Toxicroak down. And again, chipping away at the Druddigons, and we are actually behind on tempo here, so that I don't like. I don't like that. And now they're starting to build up the Giratina, and that could be a factor, right, of them not having the Giratina ready. And I think that kind of factored into where I decided to go in. Yeah. And we decided to bring in the Darkrai. And we can power this up. Chip away. I should put the cape on there. Yeah, there we go. And swing. And now the Darkrai is not ready. Well, the Darkrai is ready. And I think the Toxicroak has an attack of 1 if they choose to go for it. And they do some chip damage, but like Darkrai is not... Like, even if they get the Wombo combo of attach plus red, they are doing 120 damage total. We're just out of range. So Toxicroak here, we should be able to take out in one hit. They get a Druddigon down. And I cannot read the attack from here. Oh, they just Sabrina. And I don't think that's the play. Like, yeah, they can do that. And poison the Druddigon. That's fine. But now we can just... Yeah, we're out of the line of fire again. And we can start building something up. Or we do that and just give ourselves the opportunity to retreat into... Or retreat out of the Druddigon. If we don't find another leaf. I can't remember if we played both our leafs already. But actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't have done that because the poison might not take me out. The Darkrai will, though, so I should have left that. Now, where we're going to run into trouble here is this part, right? They're going to poison us. They're going to get damage on... And a Rocky Helmet, too. So if we swing into this, we just lose. And that's not something we... Oh, and they're going to go after the Giratina as well. No. So at this point, we have to make some tough decisions here. Because, yeah, the poison's doing 20. And I cannot remember how I reconcile this. We go attach, and we hard retreat, and we can get rid of the dark energy at this point, and we go in with the Darkrai. Interesting choice, because they've also got the Rocky Helmet on, and if they have the combination of dark energy plus red in those two cards, plus whatever they top deck, then we just lose the game. So this was very much a gamble on my part. Oh, wait. We don't even knock them out? Oh, no. That's not ideal. Why'd I do that? I probably... Because I had to attach the energy to the Druddigon to retreat it. So maybe... Oh, well, we had to... No, we had to move it up. What happened there? Anyway, Oh, because... whatever the case may be, they survived the attack. Why didn't I do 100 there? What did I attack? Oh, did we... Oh, I know what I did. Because I retreated the Giratina, and I got rid of the... I attached the energy to the Giratina and put the 2 dark... Yeah, I attached the energy to the Giratina and then got rid of the 2 dark so I could keep 4 psychic on the Giratina. And instead, I put myself in this predicament, which was not good. That was a bad play on my part. I'm seeing what I did wrong now. And, like, this is looking very grim for us here. And I'm not quite sure how to reconcile this. Okay, Nightmare Aura, and do we just retreat? Yeah, into the Druddigon? And we just pray? Man, we should lose this match. Like, we're not playing this particularly well right now. And... okay, putting the Rocky Helmet on forces them to take 4 damage if they swing into it. Again, we're like a Cyrus away from losing this game. We've been a Cyrus away from losing this game. Okay, our opponent capes up. And they cape up everything. Okay. How... I don't understand where this goes. I played this. Okay, they chip away a little bit at the Druddigon. And they get some poison on the Druddigon as well. And do we... okay, we Sabrina. Or we have a Sabrina, but like... that doesn't help us right this second. We do take some chip damage on the Toxicroak. They only have 1 card. And that might impact the way they handle this going forward, and they can't afford to put the Druddigon in at this point because they will lose if they do that. And now we just build? Yeah. Okay. If they go in with the Darkrai right now, and they don't want to bring Giratina in right now because they'll soften it up. They don't want to soften up the Giratina because we will knock them out. But at this point, like, this is kind of awkward regardless, right? If they... yeah, they played research, though. The plot that... yeah, this match is crazy long. And maybe both sides could have played this a little better. They chip. And are they just going to swing? Don't swing. No, they're not going to swing. All right. But the poison takes us out. And now they are just left with that Darkrai floating in the active. And that's bad news for them because that is the wombo combo of Darkrai, attach to the Darkrai, chip 20, play red for plus 20, and then swing with the Giratina, and this game is done. So the poison might have backfired on them. And there we go. We Chaotic Impact for 150. And that's going to be enough to take out the Darkrai. Really rough matchup there. Definitely some... could have played that a little better on both sides. I think the key is to just kind of be patient and hold out as long as you can before going in. And if you're going to go in, make sure it counts. All right, we'll take that. GG's. There we go. That is a look at Giratina with Darkrai. Again, there's a number of ways of playing Giratina. I've seen it played as just a dual Giratina 18 trainer deck. I've seen it with 1 copy of Mewtwo EX. However you go about it, Giratina is incredibly strong and has a ton of potential that it is fulfilling right now. This deck is incredibly powerful, but it does lean to more defensive playstyles. If you are someone that wants to play hyper aggressive, this deck might not be for you. And also right now with it being so popular on the ladder, and you might not want to play against the mirror match a lot where a lot of people are running this deck as well. So if you want to play something to counter this, I would definitely consider Gallade. But for now, I gotta get going. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at In Third Person. You can find me on Twitch at In Third Person, where I stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And check out the website inthirdperson.com for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.